Previously, Rayman basically just killed me. That's it.
Tesnev, qu'est-ce que tu regardes?
What happened?
What are you doing here?
Oh, you're on the side of the phone to consider one knee.
Okay, so you want to apologize for killing me last time?
Yeah!
You want me to play Rayman 2? I just played Rayman 1. I'm not gonna play
Rayman!
Fine. Fine.
2012, I was a young kid looking through PlayStation 2 games and a game caught my eye. It looked like a game that was familiar to the one I played before, and it was Rayman Revolution. I asked my dad to get it because he knew how much I loved Rayman 3, and he did. I popped the game in and it was nothing like Rayman 3, so I took the CD out, put in Rayman 3 and played that instead. A few years later I found out that it was the second game. I still played a bit, but I never really got that much into it. It was only 10 years later I gave the game a chance again and I played the Dreamcast version. I enjoyed it, but I never got to finishing it. I know it was close, but for some reason I didn't, so let's get to finishing it now. Released in the year 1999, Rayman 2 was a massive success, and this thing released on everything, from the Nintendo 64 to the Dreamcast, iOS and the DS, and even the 3DS. There was even a Game Boy Color version of this game, but it is a completely different game with the same name. So after the success of Rayman, Michel Ancela and his team originally wanted to make another 2D platformer. However, due to games like Mario 64 and in general other 3D platformers, Ubisoft shifted gear to create a 3D platformer, Tonic Trouble. Yeah, this was used as a testing ground to test the 3D engine. It released at around the same time as Rayman 2. In fact, it released the same year, but they worked on this before they even shifted Rayman 2's development to 3D. The game took around 3 years to develop and received critical acclaim, and is one of the most beloved 3D platformers. The original 2D prototype can be played on the PlayStation 1 version of the game. I will be playing the Dreamcast version since it is the definitive edition of the game. Although the PS1 version did have the prototype, it also does not have half the game, probably due to the fact that that version also has voice acting.
Fox, my friend! Are you okay, Rayman?
The PS2 version of the game Rayman Revolution has voice acting, but also adds some extra content and stuff, including this hub world instead of a level select, but it seems kind of tedious, so I didn't want to play that. So let's dive deep into the whimsical world of Rayman. The game starts out with the narrator telling us how the heart of the world is destroyed and the 1,000 lumps are split and are now everywhere due to the pirates. Everything is evil and nothing can stop them, and the pirates have slaves? How do we go from Mr. Dark to slavery? And in the first scene we see our friend Glowbox being dragged by the pirates to his cell. We also see the slaves screaming for help and stuff. They seem to not have water and stuff either. Glowbox is put in the same cell as Rayman, and Rayman says that he lost all his powers, but Glowbox had a silver lump on him that he got from Lee the Fairy, and it restores a little of Rayman's strength. So now he can shoot the vent, slide on and escape it with Glowbox falling right after, and we land to the Woods of Light, where we meet Murphy, who is basically a tutorial man. He pops up, gives us tutorials, that's all he does. On the way you meet up with Glowbox's kids. Rayman reassures them that he will find him, but he needs to free Lee the Fairy first, so we make our way to save her, while on the way there we break a cage and free the Teensies. And these guys are hilarious. They can't decide who the king is.
Phone to consider one knee. Qu'est-ce que tu regardes?
They tell us the pirates have captured her and she's in the fairy glade and need to go through the Isle of Doors to get to her. Then we jump into the Isle of Doors, which is basically the level select screen, and it looks pretty good. Speaking of looking pretty good, this game's art direction and art style is amazing, and the atmosphere is on point. This game has a very dark and scary kind of atmosphere and it fits it perfectly. The only issue is the lack of variety. Since this game is trying very hard to keep the same atmosphere, the game seems to be one big level. Everything looks visually the same. While some may like it, I just think it's jarring going from 1 to 2. One of the best aspects in the first game was the fact that every world looked very different and unique. While in this game it all looks the same. Not to say that there is zero variety, there are levels that look different, but only slightly. The music though is amazing. I think it's a big step up from the first one, and the first one was already great. All the tracks, like in the previous game, fit the atmosphere and level design. The enemies all look really cool and have cool designs for the most part. But this game feels less cartoony than the first one, to be honest. It does handle a lot more serious topics as well. I mean, there are still goofy things in the game, like the cute idle animations that have a lot of character to them, and some of the attention to detail is really cool. Now, since this is a 3D platformer, there's a lot more you can do than just move left and right. We have full 3D movement. Rayman can jump and glide with his helicopter here, but this time instead of it being for a few seconds, it still reaches the ground. And now we can shoot balls of energy instead of fists. This was probably done due to hardware limitations, but I think it kinda sucks, but I understand why it's done. You can even charge up the punches and they do a lot more damage. The punches can also be redirected to damage stuff. The ability to grab purple lumps make a return, so you can hang and swing on them. You can even climb on vines and nets and jump between walls as well. Just like in the first game, you can grab ledges. And you know how in most 3D platformers there is this animation when you grab ledges, which does slow down gameplay. Rayman has that as well, but only if you initiate it. If you don't, he just jumps from it and it's not ruining the flow of gameplay at all. There is even a lock on where you can lock on an enemy and strafe side to side. Yes, this game has a combat system now. Is it good? No. But is it a focus? No, so I don't mind it. It's very simple. You lock onto an enemy, move side to side. Most of the enemy types are also very similar, and the fights tend to be with max 2 enemies attacking you. The main enemy types are the robo henchmen, and they are all fairly similar, with some having different weapons. Then there are the gorilla pirates. They are invincible and can only be beaten by making them fall down a high ledge or something. Then there are the zombie chickens who just die in one hit and are not really combat encounters. The combat is not a focus, so I don't really care that much. The level design though is amazing. There are 19 levels and all of them were fun to beat and traverse except one, but we will get to that though. And you never really get bored of the game because it has a lot of gameplay variety, some amazing and some... There are some swimming segments, and you know how most water levels suck? These aren't that bad. I mean, they're not great either, but they are not annoying and they are done pretty fast. There are the shell levels where you can ride on these shells to get through the level. Also a powdered keg level. These are just challenging and fun. There are sliding levels where you slide down and the plums make a return. And just like in the first game, you can use them on enemies' heads to advance, use them in water to get to new areas, and it can also be used on molten lava. Yeah, you can ride the plums on molten lava to get to the end of the level. There is even one level where you get the ability to fly, and you can also ride on one of your friends back through the swamp. The only level that did suck was the pirate ship level. Not that it was hard, it was just boring compared to everything else. This game also has puzzles now, and they are not hard. I think a 6-year-old could figure out most of these, but they are still fun and serve some good gameplay variety. The collectible in this game are the yellow lumps scattered all over the levels. Some are trapped in cages, which you have to break free. If you get all the lumps and cages in the level, you unlock a bonus level. Now I never did this because I never felt like it, but unlike in the first game, you don't need to collect all the lumps to get to the end of the game. You just need a certain amount to progress. But if you do collect them on the way and stuff, you don't have to worry about it. I think it's harder to not collect them than to collect them. There are different types of lumps in this game. The green lump, which is a checkpoint, the blue lump, which gives you air underwater, and the red lumps, which restore your health. Some of the cages have to be broken to progress in the level, and they will always contain a teensy, who makes you do a little dance before exiting the level. And if you collect a lot of yellow lumps, you can also unlock lore drops and stuff, which I think was pretty cool. This game is tons easier than the first one. Not to say that there are no challenging moments, but I never felt frustrated when playing this game, unlike the first one. Whenever you die in this game, you get lines of encouragement to push on. Would have been nice in the first game. Power-ups do return in this game, or should I just say power-up, because the only thing that does return is the golden fist, which increases your damage. That's about it. After finding and freeing Lee the fairy, we are told that we need to find 4 masks of Polucus, so he can be awakened to destroy all the pirates, and she gives Rayman a bit of his power back, so he can now swing between purple lumps, and we are set out to get the masks. Rayman makes his way to the swamp, and he meets a friend, Sam, and frees him. He does not know where the mask is, but he knows where Glowbox is taken. After making our way through the swamp, Razorbeard, the captain of the pirates, he finds out that Rayman made it to the swamps and he is pissed. He sends a warship to destroy Rayman since he does not want him to get the 4 masks. He then proceeds to eat a yellow lump and the counter goes from 1000 to 999. After making our way through the swamp, we meet the teensies and they have still not figured out who their king is. And we go through the Sanctuary of Fire and Ice where the first of the 4 masters locate. We go through and meet the first boss of the game, Axel. We just gotta swing and dodge his attacks, hit the icicle and we win. We take the mask and we get teleported to the realm where Polucus chills, and this guy is kinda creepy, I'll be honest. We are then set out for the next mask, and on the way we find a friend of ours who's become ill cause he swallowed a pirate. And Carl needs something called the Elixir of Life, which is located in the Cave of Bad Dreams. We go back to the swamp and meet Jano, who lets us into the Cave of Bad Dreams. This place is really cool. The creepy music is also very eerie, and everything like the skull platforms and weird arms and the enemy type that literally eats you really takes it up a level. After almost getting through, this happens. A slide level where he is chasing you and you see it from the perspective of being inside his mouth. After going through that, we are given a choice to either take the gold or the elixir of life. And I of course took the gold. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you guys, we are booted back to the choice and we declined the offer and make our way to Clark. After giving him the elixir of life, he helps us progress through the level. We meet and free Glowbox, who uses his magical weather powers to get us through. He also gives us the ability to charge our fist and we get through the level.
No, that is not Solid Snake.
We leave the area and Glowbox is off to see his wife. We then free a whale who was captured by the pirates because they want to use her blubber to oil the engines. Man, there's some really fucked up shit here, man. We're then at the Sanctuary of Stone Temple. And this level was pretty good. After getting through it, we meet a boss. And he's a pacifist, so it's not really a boss. We just do the puzzle, then we sit on his head and he walks to the chamber and we collect the next mask. We are then teleported again towards Polucus and we give the mask and continue on to the next one. Razorbeard learns about the progress and is mad and sends his ships. After getting through them, which makes a really fun level, we reach the Sanctuary of Rock and Lava and we are given the ability to fly till we reach the boss, Fouch. He hits Rayman and he loses the ability to fly. After beating him, which is a fun boss fight, you have to run and dodge his fire attack and then hit the stalactites to damage him. After beating him, we get the third mask and give it to Polucus and we are now off to the final mask. Next up is the Tomb of the Ancients and there are signs everywhere talking about how Clark is being captured, and after getting through the level, we meet Clark, who is mind controlled. After beating the mind controlled Clark by hitting the device used to mind control him, he lifts us up to destroy the cage that contained a TNC and we leave the level. We make our way to the Iron Mountains. After getting through that place, we see Uglet crying, since her babies have been used for labor in the mines. How do we go from Mr. Dark to child slavery? And Glowbox is also captured again because he tried to defend his babies. And we gotta use this shit ass fucking ship to save the babies. After saving all of them, one of the kids randomly had a mask on him, which leads me to believe that a level and boss was cut, since why does this kid randomly have the fourth mask anyway? We say goodbye to the family and we are back at Polucus' realm. He tells Rayman that he has awakened and he can destroy all the pirates here, but in the air he is weak. So Rayman has to confront Razorbeard. During this time, a salesman visits Razorbeard and tries to sell him his product, the Gorgloth. Razorbeard accepts the offer and uses Amazon Prime's 1-hour delivery service as we make our way to confront him. The fight versus Gorgloth has two phases. The first phase is just dodging and hitting him until we drop down and we are saved by Lee the Fairy. She tells you all the pirates have been destroyed due to Polucus and Razorbeard is the only one that's left. And we are now given a flying shell. And this is the final boss. Now let's move back a bit. The level before you face Razorbeard is probably the best level of the game, except one thing. They introduce a new mechanic. I think final levels should just be a test of all of your abilities and skills. So introducing a new mechanic last minute kinda sucks ass. But the problem is not the fact that they introduced it, because if they introduce it fine, it's just one segment with the flying shell. But they want us to use this mechanic we just learned about an hour ago, or less than an hour ago, probably like 15-20 minutes ago, to face the final boss with it. And you have to face the final boss perfectly, since you can't get hit once. Since if you get hit once, you just die and you start again. The boss is not that bad though, cause I think a lot of people do dislike it, but I think it's okay. Just gotta fly around, get the balls of energy, hit him till he falls into the lava and gets a lot of damage. After beating Razorbeard, the ship explodes and Rayman is dead. So there was a funeral and stuff like that, and then Rayman shows up to the funeral and his shoe reattaches back to him and we save the world. Everything is peaceful and nice now. The credits roll and we see Razorbeard flee into space. Now this game is great. The story is fun and enjoyable and handles some dark topics. The music is fucking amazing. The levels are amazing. The characters are fun. There is really nothing bad about this game. Except for the ship segment, the final boss to a certain extent, and the fact that the levels don't seem like levels, but they seem like one big level. And there are some positives that I think the atmosphere, for that reason, the best out of the entire franchise, and it is a lot more grounded. But come on, we're playing a guy who does not have fucking limbs, so I don't need it to be grounded. You know what I mean? The funny moments in this game are pretty funny. I think the comedic moments all land pretty well, and I did laugh out loud a few times. And that's probably because my humor is kind of fucked, but I don't care. I enjoyed it. The world being full of magic and being so vast as Rayman, I prefer different levels and worlds than everything being the same. But if a remaster or remake of the game were to come out, I would keep everything the same. I think this game is unique in the fact that it is very different from the other ones, and the game in itself is really good. I think the only thing that they should do is add more levels, because the game is fucking awesome. Maybe add the cut content and stuff like that they probably had. I don't know, maybe add a level for the last mask, a new boss or something. That's the only thing I would really ask for if they were to do a remake, because this game is amazing as it is, and a visual upgrade would also be nice, obviously, as long as they keep the same style. If they don't keep the same style and doing some Unreal Engine garbage, just make the fucking, just remaster it, just port it over or something. We are fine with that. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, since I had a lot of fun making this, and I will see you guys on the next one.
You know what? I actually enjoyed this one. Thank you. No, I accept your apology. Yeah, Rayman 2 is